Marcus Williams stood in the fluorescent-lit aisle of the corner pharmacy at 10:47 p.m., holding his 8-month-old daughter Lily against his shoulder while she fussed quietly. The baby had been running a slight fever all day, and now they were completely out of diapers. At 26, Marcus had learned that parenthood rarely waited for convenient moments or adequate bank accounts. He counted the crumpled bills in his wallet for the third time. $12.37. Enough for the small pack of diapers, but not much else. The formula would have to wait until his paycheck cleared tomorrow morning. Behind him in line stood a woman in an expensive wool coat, checking her phone with the practiced efficiency of someone accustomed to late-night business calls. Catherine Sterling was 42, the founder and CEO of Sterling Enterprises, and she should have been at home in her penthouse apartment overlooking the city. Instead, she was buying antacid and hoping it would help her sleep through another night of regrets and empty rooms. Marcus reached the counter and carefully placed the small pack of diapers down, along with a travel-sized container of baby acetaminophen for Lily's fever. $14.68, the cashier said mechanically. Marcus's heart sank. He'd miscalculated. "I'm sorry, could you just ring up the diapers?" "I'll have to come back for the medicine tomorrow." The cashier sighed with the weariness of someone who'd seen too many similar scenes. "Diapers are $11.43. Marcus counted out his bills slowly, painfully aware of the woman behind him checking her watch. "I'm sorry," he murmured to her. "This'll just take a second." But as he handed over his money, his wallet slipped from his tired hands, sending the remaining coins scattering across the floor. Lily began to cry in earnest as Marcus knelt to gather the change, his face burning with embarrassment. Catherine watched this scene unfold with a mixture of recognition and something deeper. She saw the careful way Marcus supported his daughter's head, the gentle shushing sounds he made to comfort her, the quiet dignity with which he handled his obviously difficult circumstances. "Excuse me," Catherine said quietly, stepping forward. "Could you ring up those diapers again? The larger pack this time. And the medicine? And—" She scanned the shelves behind the counter. "Whatever formula you recommend for an 8-month-old. Marcus looked up from where he was still gathering coins, confusion evident in his tired eyes. "I'm sorry? I'll take care of it," Catherine said simply, handing her credit card to the cashier. "Consider it a gift." "Ma'am, I can't let you do that," Marcus said, struggling to his feet with Lily still in his arms. "I don't even know you." "You don't need to know me," Catherine replied. "You just need to take care of your daughter. And sometimes we all need a little help with that." The cashier, suddenly more interested in the interaction, rang up the larger items. $63.47. Catherine completed the transaction without hesitation, then helped Marcus gather the supplies into a bag. "Why?" Marcus asked as they walked toward the exit together. "Why would you do this for a stranger?" Catherine paused at the automatic doors, looking at the baby in his arms. Lily had stopped crying and was now looking up at her with curious, dark eyes. "Because," Catherine said softly, "a long time ago, someone did something kind for me when I needed it most. And because that little girl deserves to have her fever treated and her daddy get some sleep tonight." "I'll pay you back," Marcus said earnestly. "I start a new job next week." "Better pay!" "I can pay it forward instead," Catherine interrupted gently. "Someday when you're able, help someone else who's having a tough night." 3 months later, Catherine was working late in her downtown office when her assistant knocked on the door. "Ms. Sterling? There's a young man here to see you. He doesn't have an appointment, but he says it's about something personal." "Marcus Williams?" Catherine looked up in surprise, then smiled. "Send him in." Marcus entered, carrying a familiar bundle. Lily, now 11 months old and obviously thriving. She was bigger, brighter-eyed, and reaching for everything within her grasp. "I told you I'd pay you back," Marcus said, setting an envelope on Catherine's desk. "It's not much, but it's a start." Catherine opened the envelope to find $65 and a handwritten note. "For the medicine and diapers that night. The interest is my promise that I'll help someone else the way you helped us." Marcus Williams, Assistant Manager, Henderson Construction. Marcus, you didn't need to— Yes, I did, he said firmly. But that's not really why I'm here. He shifted Lily to his other arm. I wanted to thank you, but more than that, I wanted you to see her. To see that your kindness— It made a difference. A real difference. As if on cue, Lily reached toward Catherine with chubby fingers, making the babbling sounds of a happy, healthy baby. May I? Catherine asked, extending her arms. When Marcus handed Lily over, Catherine felt something she hadn't experienced in years, the simple, uncomplicated joy of holding a child. Lily examined her face with serious concentration, then broke into a gummy smile. She's beautiful, Catherine said, her voice softer than it had been in months, and clearly healthy and happy. You're doing a wonderful job. Some days I still don't know what I'm doing, Marcus admitted. But that night, you didn't just help us with diapers and medicine. You reminded me that there are good people in the world, people who care about strangers. That's the kind of world I want Lily to grow up in. As they talked, Catherine learned more about Marcus's story. He'd been laid off from his previous job just weeks before Lily was born. Her mother had left shortly after, unable to handle the responsibility. Marcus had been struggling to rebuild ever since, but he'd never given up. You know, Catherine said thoughtfully, still holding Lily, my company is always looking for good people. People with integrity and determination. If you're ever interested in something beyond construction— I appreciate that, Marcus said, but I don't want charity. It wouldn't be charity, Catherine replied. It would be recognizing character when I see it. 6 months later, Marcus was working in Catherine's company as a project coordinator, his natural people skills and work ethic quickly earning him respect throughout the organization. But more than that, he and Catherine had developed an unexpected friendship. Catherine found herself looking forward to the days when Marcus brought Lily to the office briefly, watching the entire staff light up at the toddler's presence. She had started keeping a small basket of toys in her office, and she'd caught herself shopping for children's books on weekends. One evening, as Catherine was preparing to leave the office, she found Marcus in the break room looking troubled. Everything all right? She asked. Lily's been asking about having a grandma like the other kids at daycare, Marcus said quietly. I don't know what to tell her. My parents passed before she was born, and her mother's family— well, they're not in the picture. Catherine sat down across from him, thinking about her own empty apartment, her successful but lonely life, and the way Lily's face lit up every time she saw her. Marcus, she said carefully, what if she didn't have to wonder about having a grandmother figure in her life? He looked up, hope and uncertainty in his expression. What if she already had someone who loved her like a grandmother would? Someone who's been part of her life since she was 8 months old? That weekend, Catherine found herself in a toy store for the first time in decades, picking out a stuffed elephant for Lily and marveling at how much joy could be found in choosing the perfect gift for a child who had accidentally become the center of her world. A year later, at Lily's second birthday party in Catherine's penthouse apartment, now filled with colorful toys and child-safe furniture, Catherine watched Marcus blow out candles with his daughter and realized that the best investment she'd ever made wasn't in any company or property. It was in $63.47 spent on a stranger's kindness in a late-night pharmacy, an investment that had returned to her a family she never knew she needed, and the understanding that wealth means nothing if it isn't shared with people you love. Sometimes the most profound changes in our lives begin with the simplest acts of generosity. A willingness to see beyond our own circumstances and recognize that we're all just doing our best, hoping for a little kindness along the way. And sometimes, when we reach out to help someone else, we discover that we're also helping ourselves find the family we've been searching for all along.